Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Mike and you're watching Triple T Acres. And in today's video, we are going to be going over this portable power station. This is made by the company JXWVU. They're pretty new on the market and there's tons of these things out there to choose from. So this video is going to be everything you need to know about this specific unit, and we're going to put this thing to the test. I didn't realize I needed one of these until I got one. I've had it for a couple weeks now and I put it through the ringer, and I am excited to show you what this thing is made of. I never knew what these things could do, and you're going to be very surprised. Today we are going to hook it up to my pole building and power the entire thing. We're going to hook it up to my RV, and I just might take it up to my house because I have a generator inlet there, and we're going to see how many things I can power in my house. So you're going to want to stick around, guys. I hope you enjoy the video. All right, so the first test we're going to do is we're going to power my pole barn. And this is a perfect scenario for somebody who just built a building and you don't have a power source to it yet. Or if you have a pole building that's way off on your property where it can be connected to the grid. This is such a cool system where you don't have to run a generator that's loud and it can still be peaceful. And man, this thing works really, really well. So I'm going to show you all of my connections here. How do I get it to the building? But I want to make a very clear statement here. You need to have an electrician wire this thing up for you. Do not use my video to set anything up. This is not instructional as far as any of that goes, but I am going to connect it to let you know that it is possible to run your building with one of these things. So, all right, so we're here on the side of my building, and what I have here is a generator inlet. This is a really good idea to do first if you can't get the power system to your pole building just yet. So you wire this thing into your panel, and then you could be ready for power to be entered to your building. So this is a good temporary source. Whether you're using a portable power station or a generator, this is still a good idea. So what I need to make this thing connect is I have a couple adapters here. So I have an RV adapter to a generator, and then I take an RV outlet and then adapt it down to a 110 volt. And that is what goes into the side of this. Once I get that, then I will connect it here to my system there. But before I do all this, I gotta go shut the power off to make it seem like we just lost power or never had power. All right, lights are on. Let's get this thing shut down. And essentially that is like a power outage, or no power is running here at all. Refrigerator is off, all the lights are off. This also makes it safe for me to connect this generator. You also notice that the pond aerator has kicked off. So let's get this thing connected and get the power back to our system here. We're gonna connect this to our extension cord. I would highly recommend using a high gauge extension cord. It also depends on how much power draw you're gonna have. Get this thing connected. So now our wire is connected. Next thing I'm gonna do is plug this into the side of the generator. The generator's not on just yet. Next thing I want to do is plug this into the generator input to the building. Power is off. There's no electric to this system. All right, we are plugged in, and now we turn our system on. Hold the on button, and that's going to turn my display on. We're at 100% charge, and this gives you a few displays here. This shows me how many watts are coming in. So if I plug it into the wall and I want to recharge this, it's going to tell me how much that is. If I connect a solar panel, it's going to tell me how much energy I'm getting off of the solar panels from the sun. And then lastly, has the output. So it tells me how much pull is coming out of this. So now that the system is on, to get the power to go over here, I got to turn the AC on. Press that, and now it is sending electricity to the system. The only thing I got to do now is go turn it on at the panel. So let's go do that. All right, so we're over here at the panel, and I'm going to go ahead and shut all of the breakers off. So all of my breakers are off, and essentially this is now my new main. It's for my generator. Again, getting a licensed electrician, they're probably going to want to put something called a Generac system that will prevent you from turning this one on and this one on at the same time to protect the system. But in my case right here, I'm not going to turn that on. So here we go. I'm going to turn the generator switch on. Now that allows the power to come into my building. And at this point, all I got to do is flip on the breakers that I want to be powered. So I'll go through all these outlets. I just heard the refrigerator kick on. It obviously cannot power my oven in here, so let's go see everything that's powered up. All right, so we heard the refrigerator kick on. Looks like we got some bush lights in there. It is on. We'll flip some light switches on. Lights are working good, and we'll kick this big ceiling fan on. Ceiling fan kicks on. So everything in this barn right now is powered. Now, with those portable power stations, it's within reason. I probably, without a doubt, could not fire up my air compressor. That is going to draw a lot of electricity, especially those startups. But for general use, if you need lights out to a building and to run some outlets, this thing works great. Let's go see how many watts this thing is pulling to run my lights, my fan, my refrigerator, and right now it's actually running the pond aeration system. All right, so that is pulling about 900 watts right now. Now this is a 2,500 watt capacity, so I have plenty of reserve to be able to run maybe a saw or charge some batteries or whatnot. So another thing about this portable power station is it has a 2,160 watt hour capacity. Now, if you're not familiar with watt hours, and I'm sure you've seen it on multiple things, I never understood it until I got this. What a watt hour is for every 1 watt that something uses, this thing will power it for that many hours. So 2,160 hours powering 1 watt. So to figure out how long you can power something, you take the total output and you take 2,160, which is the watt hours, and divide it by that number, and that will tell you how many hours this thing will power that system. It allows you to estimate how long you'll be able to power that system for. So keep that in mind whenever you're using any portable power station. All right, so we're pulling about 900 watts. Let's push this thing to the limits a little bit. Let's plug some lights in and get it as close as we can to that 2,500 watt capacity that this thing can actually power. Okay, so we have 2 of these work halogen lights. So let's turn these on. And there's 2, so we're running 2 of these lights, and let's go see how much power that's pulling up, and maybe we'll kick on a few more lights depending on how much power it's using. Now we're up to 1,570 watts. It sounds like the fan has kicked on to keep that battery cool, which these fans are here on the side, and I can actually feel the air blowing out of it. Also notice on the top of this, you can actually charge your phone on the top of that. You have a 12-volt connection here to charge things with, multiple USB-C connections, and regular USB connections there. Let's go kick on a couple more lights and see if we can get more out of this unit. All right, so we got those 2 lights on. Let's fire up a couple more of these. There's another one there. Let's go see how much wattage we're pulling now. All right, now we're pulling 2,100 watts off of this small unit here. Super impressive so far. Let's go add some more things to it. All right, so we've got all those lights on. My light's up there. Let's kick the fan back on. Fan is on, and let's turn the porch lights on. Let's see where we're at now. Still 2,100 watts. Let's shut the garage door. I know that's gonna pull some juice. So this is a 14 by 14 garage door that it is powering. And we'll go ahead and lift it too and see if it can use all of this power for this. All right, doors down, everything is being used. Let's see it lift that. Let's check how many watts we're pulling while it's lifting it. 2,300 watts. Okay, to sum up the power draw, we've got 4 large LED lights on the ceiling in my barn. We also have some lights under my loft area, and then under the porch, 4 lights. We've got a pond aeration system running, a refrigerator, an 8-foot ceiling fan, and then we have 4 halogen shop lights that are all pulling off of this battery powered unit. It's really amazing. If that doesn't impress you, I don't know what does when it comes to these sort of things. Now, this is really important to know. If you were running this thing off grid, or if you were trying to power something for a long period of time, you would be way more conservative. I'm obviously pushing this thing to the limits, and I took it up to 2,300 watts. It still has a little bit more in reserve. I was able to get it to go clear up to 2,600 watts the other day. So it's rated for 25. It actually gave me another 100 watts. So you can push it a little further than that, but I wouldn't recommend it. Man, how convenient would this be if you had a building that you didn't have power to it yet? This thing, it's still running right here, and it's not that loud. It's amazing. We don't have this loud generator that's running in the background that you got to yell over all the time. Another really nice thing about these things is you can take them inside your house. They're not going to be pushing off any of those dangerous chemicals like carbon monoxide. So you can take it inside your house, plug in your refrigerator, plug in your TV, plug in some lights if the power goes out. Another thing to think about is when your power goes out, when is it going out? It's usually going out with really bad weather. You got a hailstorm, an ice storm, high winds, snow, rain, you name it. And the last thing you want to do is go out and fire a generator up if you don't have one that's already connected to your house. So this is a super unique thing. But speaking of houses, let's go take this thing up with what battery I have left, hook it up to my house, and just plug in the essentials and see what I could do with my house. And then at the last thing, we'll hook up an RV and let you guys see that thing. So stick around, guys. We still got a lot more to cover. All right, we're in my house here, and I'm gonna hit the main breaker to simulate a power outage. Lights out. Let's go get the generator hooked up. All right, so my generator connection to my house is actually out in my shed. Connects exactly the same way as I did at my barn. So you're gonna need a generator inlet if you were wanting to power your house to a backfeed system. And again, hire a licensed electrician to get that all set up for you. So let's get this thing connected and see what kind of power we can get in our house. All right, so we're all wired up. Let's go inside and see what kind of power we got. All right, inside the power is off. All I need to do now is introduce power to the system. Now my main system is off, and I actually have all of my breakers off. And what I want to do is I want to turn them on individually with only the essentials that I want to do. So first thing I want to do is get the generator system fed to the panel. That's that one. And then I can go through here and add the breakers that I want. I'm skipping over those very large draw breakers. Like, you don't want to run your hot water tank or anything like that off of it. We're just going through and just the essentials. All right, now we got some lights in here. I can turn my flashlight off, keeping the big stuff off. Let's go see what we got powered. All right, so we're upstairs, and let's check our refrigerator, because that's probably one of the main things. Power. Let's see if the microwave will work. Now this will be a big draw. Microwave works, so you could even cook your food off of this thing if you had to. You could have coffee in the morning. Power for the TV too. All right, so we've powered my pole barn, and now we just powered my house. Two things left I want to show you. We're going to power an RV, and then I'm going to hook the solar system up and see how much electricity we can pull off of the sun. Stick around, guys. Okay, we're down here by the camper, and we've already showed you what this thing could do with the pole building and the house. Now we're going to show you another really common thing that you might use a portable power station for, and that is camping. Now, when we go camping, the last thing we want to hear is a generator running in the background. It totally defeats the purpose, but some of us don't want to give up some of those creature comforts, and that's where this thing is really going to shine. So we're going to get this thing hooked up. I'm going to go ahead and hook the solar panels up because the sun is really high in the sky. There's not a cloud in it, so we'll be able to see peak performance with that. So let's get this thing all hooked up and show you what it's got. All right, check it out. There are the solar panels, and these have a max capacity of 400 watts combined. As you can see, I open them up like a briefcase, and underneath here, each one of those panels has a little kickstand built into the package. So you can fold this thing up, put it in the back of your truck, put it in the back of your car, and go off-grid. Super cool. Wires are built in. Everything's already pre-wired. I had to purchase this wire separately on Amazon. So I'll put a link down in the description just so I can get the panels as far away from the solar generator as I could if I needed to get more light. We're plugged in over here, and I'm currently pulling 290 watts off of the sun, and that is currently charging, as you can see the battery up. And the camper's plugged in. I'm only pulling 7 watts. We're going to go in there and turn some power on and see if we can draw more sun energy than we are pulling a few lights on the inside of that camper. Let's go check it out. Went ahead and put the slide out. Let's kick some lights on, and then we're going to see how many watts I'm pulling. And I know for sure that I cannot run my AC unit. So let's just turn the fan on. If the fan works, I know for sure the furnace will work. No problem with the fan. Let's literally turn on every light in this camper. And there's quite a bit. Heck, let's turn the TV on too, why not? All right, so we got the TV on. All of the lights are on. Let's see if we can run the microwave. Now this is a big test to see if this microwave works with everything else on. The microwave is working off of that portable power unit, and essentially everything is on in this camper. Now let's go see how many watts this thing is pulling. All right guys, we're back out here at the portable power station. The sun is still dishing out about 285 watts. It might be hard for you to see because of the glare. And we are pulling about 580 watts. So now this unit has 2,000 60 watt hours. And we can figure out how long we could run this at a full capacity. So let's do some quick math here. So if we take 580 watts is what we're using, and we subtract what we're getting from the sun, which is 285, that says we're using 295 watts off of the battery, because again, we're getting it from the sun. So let's just round up to 300 watts. Like I said before, we have 2,060 watt hours divided by 300. So that'll get us about 6.86 hours of runtime if we have it just like that at 100% capacity. Okay, so knowing all that information about the usage, if we went into that camper and was way more conservative with the power, imagine how much longer that portable power station would last. 10, 12, 13 hours on one charge. And then we might even offset it with the solar panel. It might actually charge the system while we're using it. I think that that is pretty cool. All right, guys, that is the JXWVU portable power station and their solar panel kit. And we showed you guys using this thing, powering this pole barn. We went and powered my house, and we powered the RV. And that is just the tip of the iceberg of what you can do with these sort of things. If I had to go back in the woods and I was gonna build a structure, I can connect that thing and run a circular saw. And again, it's countless on the things that you could do. And if you are interested in purchasing one of these, I will put a link down in the description. There'll even be a little promo code down there that will give me a little bit of commission, but will actually knock some price off for you. But guys, if you like this kind of content, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. But until next time, we'll see you in the next video.